We always have to recognize inside of us is that very conservative element that says, I want to change and grow, but at what cost? I don't want it to cost me too much. I don't want to have to deal with what it means to die psychologically in order to experience some kind of new life or new growth that comes to me. There are times in our life where the certainties, understandings of self and world are no longer applicable, no matter how sincere we are, how conscientious we are in their execution. And in those moments, we feel the ground slip away from underneath of us, whether we're conscious of that fully or not. We might urgently change relationship or career or make some kind of outer change, thinking that that will fix it and that will solve it. But underneath that is some other kind of groundswell that's seeking to express itself. And one of the things I've told to clients who come for therapy is you're going to have to be able to live with uncertainty for a while. Because that which is no longer applicable or useful or practical in your life is going to be replaced by something else. But we can't just jump from here to there. That's what those self-help books promise. 5 steps to this, 30 days to that. That's the quick movement to this. You won't have to go through suffering. You won't have to go through anxiety. You won't have to go through some kind of exile. And that can be a very lonely time. And to be able to sort of hold to that process during that interim, during that in-between period. And the in-between period sometimes, frankly, has been years. And I think, for example, that in the course of one's psychological growth and development, those interregnums can be extraordinarily painful. And that's one reason why I think therapy had to be invented in our time, in order to help people to sort of hold together a sense of personal continuity while something is being deconstructed in their lives. And we are part of that nature. And it's violent inside of here too. And it's violent in the sense that all deaths in some way are the destruction of the old. And all deaths in some way are asking for that new to come, but it's only at the expense of the old. And the key, though, is the ego's relationship to that. I mean, it's going to go on regardless. That's why I think I had a good midlife depression, was I was resisting the change that was, facing me, resisting changes that needed to be made in my life. And I had various complexes standing there like guards with scimitars saying, you shall not enter here, as we all do. Otherwise, change would be easy. But in a sense, what is not addressed then will pathologize, meaning it will move into regions of suffering. It could be interpersonal suffering, it could be in the body, it can be in our emotional life, in all these places. So you're absolutely right. Nature is violent, and my ego may have an attitude about that, but my attitude's sort of irrelevant until I embrace the nature of nature, which is that, as Tennyson said, nature red in tooth and claw. It's not some pretty animal somewhere. Its life is constantly consuming and devouring other life, as we do as well. And the same is going on intrapsychically in us all the time. As we're sitting here, cells are being reborn and cells are dying. And they're dying at a greater rate than being reborn, by the way, from about age 24 or 25 afterwards. So it's biologically downhill after that.